Hey beautiful, welcome to my channel, welcome back. If you've been here before, it's your girl Farida, aka Curly Proverbs, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a reaction to a TikTok. I recently met the most amazing stylist. Her name is Laura Lynn, and she was working at the Steam Bar pop-up in Selfridges in central London, and she made me aware of this TikTok that I just needed to come on here and react to. Honestly, it's shocking that this is still the narrative around natural hair, but I mean, be prepared to be in your feelings when you watch this TikTok if you've not come across it before. I found it, to be quite appalling, some of the attitudes that were relayed. So let's take a look at the TikTok. The original one has actually been taken down since it went up because of all the negative reaction. So I'm just looking at the clips at the beginning of other people's stitches, and I'm of course going to be crediting those creators below. So let's get into it. So I'm just going to set the scene for you. A mum and an auntie have brought, or mum or another relative, female relative, have brought in a mixed race girl to a hairdresser's or hairstylist based in Bournemouth. And this girl has got the most majestic, thick, gorgeous hair. And this is what they had to say about her hair.
I tell you, it's very difficult. Like her hair type is. That looks like a surprise. Wow, look at this. My goodness, yes, it's hard work. This is hard work. Well, it is very difficult. I tell you, it's very difficult. Like her hair type is not easy to look after because there's not much you can do. Like even it's just too frizzy and tight. Okay.
It's too frizzy and tight. There's not much you can do with it. So basically, apparently what I've gotten from all the different snippets that I have seen in the different stitches, the only solution was to chemically straighten this little girl's hair using a formaldehyde filled keratin treatment. So let's unpack this TikTok. The first thing they were saying is her hair is very difficult. There's nothing much that you can do with it. He actually does go on to say he doesn't even know how to deal with her hair. Well, that's your first clue. Like maybe that should not be the stylist you go to. But yeah, let's take a look at the two different veins I want to discuss on this. One is the impact of the adjectives and language that is centered around textured hair, kinky, coily, curly hair, the language that is used around it and the roots of that language, right? And the second thing I want to look at is really how bad formaldehyde and keratin treatments are for you, because there was actually somebody who challenged him on the page and was like, why are you putting chemicals in this little girl's hair? It causes cancer. And he actually refuted that. He just would not admit to it. So I really wanted to actually take a deep dive down both of those veins because this TikTok really had me in my feelings. So child, yeah, let's get into it. That anything that is to do with blackness is unattractive, and generally speaking is unattractive until another race, generally speaking Caucasians, utilize it, in which case it becomes cool, it becomes sought after. For example, fuller lips. I know that we all remember a day where you will be bullied at school for having fuller lips, and in fact it still happens today if it's on a black girl. But however, when this lip filler craze took off, this feature started to become celebrated. Or even, so for example, having a very pronounced derriere, let's say, until you know, Kim Kardashian made it popular, everyone was like, oh, does my butt look big in this? I want to make it look smaller, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, black women were kind of sneered at for, you know, their proportions, but now it's something to be desired. The same with tanned and brown skin. You know, if it's naturally occurring, Yeah, there's comments about that. However, the same people will be sitting on a sunbed or out there roasting, trying to get a tan. Now, am I saying that one is more beautiful than the other? No, but what I'm saying is that there is always a narrative, a negative narrative around anything to do with blackness until it is used by another race and popularized. I remember one of the first videos, one of the early day videos that I did was actually a reaction to a John Frieda advert. I'm going to insert the clip here, but essentially the question was what to do with curly frizzy hair. The answer to that question was make it go away. And years later, this still seems to be the narrative, and this man makes his living. First, he doesn't even like thick hair. Like the comments he makes even about hair being thick just seem very negative. Certainly the comments he makes about textured hair, and he advocates for the use of keratin treatments, right? We'll get onto the toxicity of that in just a second. This book here by Emma DeBerry actually explains so well the colonial roots behind the narrative and the negativity surrounding coily and curly and textured hair. Now this little girl is having her ideas formed about herself by this narrative that's being spoken over her, the negative attitudes. We have to be so careful, guys. Whatever your child's hair type, texture, skin tone, we have to be so careful the adjectives we are using to describe our young people, because that becomes their inner voice in the future. Some of their hang-ups are being formed by us complaining about the challenges of dealing with said hair texture, type, etc., or comments on their particular physical features. So we have to be really, really careful. And I just want to read you a small excerpt from this book, which I think is all of us. From my earliest memories, my hair was presented as a problem that needed to be managed. This deeply entrenched idea of managing Black women's hair operates as a powerful metaphor for societal control over our bodies. She goes on to say, as I got older, my skin colour almost corresponds to the tan my peers were all obsessed with achieving. But I still got the jokes about needing a flash to take a photograph of me, or the classic likening of my complexion to dirt. But it was my hair that remained unforgivable. Anything that could be done to disguise it, manipulate it, or mutilate it was up for consideration. The concept of leaving it the way it grew out of my head was simply inconceivable. That she's like literally said it perfectly. Emma actually also talks about the case in 2016 at Pretoria High School in South Africa, and that it was particularly shocking, she says here, not only for the violence of the altercation, but also the geographic location. This didn't happen in Britain or Ireland or America, but on the African continent. Protests broke out because little girls wanted to leave their hair alone, yet Pretoria High maintained that natural hair was messy. The administration claimed that by not straightening her black hair, female students were not conforming to the rules regarding appropriation, presentation, and protests broke out when the schoolgirls simply refused to straighten their hair. Here's a clip of Zuleika Patel herself and her speaking about what the school had to say about her hair.
I've been told that my afro is untidy and that it's not natural and that it is a dirty bird's nest.
So back to the original clip, I really want to challenge this hairdresser, because I feel that if you are going to be a qualified hairdresser, you need to be able to give at least basic tips on how to care for different textures of hair. The mission should not be about ridding people of part of their identity. I understand, like, so for example, I have got a blowout. It's going to last until my hair is washed. It's going to go back to its natural state. It was done with one pass to keep my hair healthy, because health of your hair is, I would say, your health and the health of your hair is it takes precedent over a particular style. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this guy's whole narrative is very negative when it comes to any texture, any thickness, any curls and any coils. All he does is strip curls from hair. That's basically what he's famous for. And I just really wanted to point to a comment which was under one of the videos. It was left by a lady called Sandra, and she said, doing a toxic keratin with formaldehyde to a young girl. I have no words. And he replies, I hope you're talking about the food you eat. Do your research properly. I'm just going to put the conversation here. She goes on to say that we actually use formaldehyde to sterilize, like we try to stay away from it. And he just gets into like this rant that just makes him seem, to be honest, very ignorant. There's a vet that chimes in and he says like, we use this to embalm. This is used for embalming dead people, dead animals. So he just sounds really ignorant, but I'm just gonna break it down for you. I've done my research. I've looked at journal research, peer research papers, and I'm just gonna give you a little breakdown, okay? So the first thing here is that even a simple Google search will tell you that keratin hair straightening treatments can be toxic due to the presence of formaldehyde or formaldehyde releasing ingredients. So some of these treatments do not contain formaldehyde as a standalone, but as soon as you add heat to it, it breaks down and releases formaldehyde, which is for embalming, which is a known carcinogen. So also these treatments contain things like methyl glycol, methanediol, and formalin, which break down to release formaldehyde gas. Now, if it's so safe, why are there so many clips of your hairstylists when they are processing the keratin treatment? Why are they doing the blowouts outside the salon and not indoors? Why is it that that hairdressers that do this particular style are more at risk of cancers, even in the hands, and sometimes that the product actually breaks down the gloves that stylists use? The FDA has been aware for over a decade that some keratin treatments release unsafe levels of formaldehyde. What are they doing about it? Not much. Salon workers who perform these treatments are repeatedly at high exposure of developing health problems related to formaldehyde exposure. I also wanted to mention that this peer paper here looks at keratin-based hair straightening treatment that is linked to kidney damage. Severe acute kidney damage. They had 26 patients from 14 medical centers who had severe acute kidney injury as a result of using these keratin treatments. So don't tell me that what you are doing is not toxic. You are justifying it because you don't want your income to be affected. Just like Big Pharma, the admission that what you are peddling to people is toxic is going to lose you money. That's why you avoid stating as such. So I just feel like, yeah, get your facts straight before you come for people in the comments. And if you already know the facts and you continue to do what you're doing, then, you know, karma. Knowing what I've just said to you about this formaldehyde being a carcinogen, right? The clip of the elderly lady who has just recovered from cancer and has just grown her hair back post chemotherapy, coming to you and you putting that cancer-causing chemical in her hair when she's already prone and she's already just recovered from cancer, just made me feel some kind of way. It really, really did. My advice to you would be, sir, do some soul searching. Maybe educate yourself on taking care, nourishing care of different textures. Yeah, that would be my advice to you. And mum, teach your daughter to love herself, love her hair as it grows out of her head. Take the time, as many have, who have interracial children or who have adopted children from a different ethnicity, you know, black girls, mixed race girls. do your due diligence on how to care for your child. There's YouTube, there's Instagram, there's so many resources. Don't tell me you can't do a simple Google search and look up some brushes and some conditioners to use on your child's hair that is not going to potentially, you know, put their health at risk. So I feel like this guy actually embodies the opposite of everything that I stand for, you know, where I'm trying to give ladies options for non-toxic hair care, to actually put the nourishing of your hair above anything else. Good hair is nourished hair. Good hair is healthy hair. And that is really the narrative that we are trying to get behind here. The narrative he pushes is obviously completely different, you know, and you don't have to use poisons to take care of your hair. You don't have to use poisons to get your hair to form the style that you want. If you're at a point in your journey where you're not sure what to do with your hair, please be encouraged. Be patient. Get you a thick and curly tangle teaser. Get you a good leave-in, a good hair mask. Moisturization is key, and patience. Like, the techniques that you use for straight hair won't work for your hair. So for example, dry brushing straight hair is fine. Dry brushing curly hair won't work. If you need some tips and tricks on how to nourish and care for your hair, this whole channel is dedicated to that. Definitely take a look at the videos that I've mentioned and some videos that I'm going to have linked in cards. Also, if you're looking for non-toxic hair care products, I'm going to have my shop linked below where you can pick up products that have zero toxins, zero poisons, just plant power to nourish your hair. So I hope you found this video useful. Please do comment below. What did you think? What did you think about what the hairdresser had to say, what the mother had to say? What do you think about this whole narrative that it's not cool if we do it, but it's cool if others do? Let me know. Have you had any experience in this arena? I'm dying to know. Chime in, and I will see you in the next video.